The lights are twinkling, the snow is falling, and through the crisp winter air comes a voice so powerful it seems to vibrate the very ground beneath your feet. To the casual observer, Jonathan Antoine is the personification of holiday cheer, a man whose vocal cords seem gift-wrapped by the gods themselves. But as we dig deeper into the archives of this operatic powerhouse, a much more complex and shadowed image begins to emerge. While the world prepares to celebrate, many are unaware that the man providing the soundtrack to their joy was, for a long time, living in a personal winter that no amount of fame could thaw. But what if I told you that the very voice that heals millions was forged in a furnace of absolute silence and fear? Behind the soaring crescendos of ChristmasLand lies a history of intense struggle that the headline writers often ignore. Before he was a household name, Jonathan was a young man pushed to the absolute brink. Long before the tuxedos and the standing ovations, there was a boy who found the world so terrifying that he effectively retreated from it. We've uncovered reports from his early years that paint a picture of a student so tormented by his peers that the simple act of walking down a school hallway was a traumatic event. This wasn't just shyness. This was a systematic dismantling of a young man's spirit. The irony is staggering. The world now looks to him for comfort, yet when he was the one screaming for help, the world was often looking the other way. As we investigate his rise to the top, we see that his connection to Christmas music isn't just about tradition, it's about survival. He sings these songs with such conviction because he knows exactly what it feels like to be left out in the cold, praying for a single note of hope to break the silence. When Jonathan first stepped onto that global stage in 2012, the narrative was framed as a simple underdog story. But our investigation into that period reveals a much darker reality happening behind the scenes. At just 17 years old, Jonathan wasn't just dealing with stage fright. He was in the midst of a full-scale clinical collapse. The pressure of the competition, combined with years of unaddressed trauma from his school days, culminated in a moment where he nearly offed his own career before it truly began. Reports from the time suggest that the young tenor was struggling with thoughts of leaving it all behind, a sensitive subject that his team worked tirelessly to manage as the cameras rolled. The Britain's Got Talent producers knew they had a star, but they didn't realize they were sitting on a ticking time bomb of emotional exhaustion. The industry is a machine that demands perfection, and Jonathan was anything but a polished product. He was a raw, bleeding heart wrapped in a voice that didn't seem to belong to a teenager. While the judges were marveling at his range, Jonathan was reportedly battling the dark thoughts that often haunt those with sudden fame. There was a secret tension during the rehearsals that the public never saw, moments where he almost refused to go on, not out of ego, but out of a genuine inability to process the noise. He was a boy who had spent his life trying to be invisible, suddenly thrust into a spotlight that felt like a laser beam. This period of his life was marked by a heavy reliance on his singing partner, Charlotte, who acted as a human shield against the world. Yet, even as he found success, the whispers began. Could he survive the industry, or would he become another tragic statistic in the long history of child stars who were pushed too far? The mystery of how he navigated this mental minefield is perhaps his most impressive feat, even more so than hitting a high C. One of the most polarizing moments in reality TV history occurred when Simon Cowell, the industry's most ruthless kingmaker, told Jonathan to dump his partner and go solo. From a reporter's perspective, this was a calculated move to maximize profit at the expense of human connection. But what happened next shocked the executives and the audience alike. Jonathan's refusal to abandon Charlotte wasn't just a sweet gesture. It was a defiant stand against an industry that views artists as disposable assets. It was a high-stakes gamble that could have ended his career on the spot, but it revealed a side of Jonathan that the industry wasn't prepared for. Our research into the aftermath of that decision shows that it created a ripple effect in the classical crossover world. By choosing loyalty over a guaranteed solo path to the top, Jonathan signaled that he wouldn't be bullied by the suits in the boardrooms. However, the controversy didn't end there. After the duo eventually went their separate ways years later, the rumors started to fly. Was there a secret falling out? Was the pressure of being the talented one too much for the partnership to bear? While both have maintained a professional silence, the separation marked the beginning of Jonathan's true solo metamorphosis. He had to prove that he wasn't just the boy from the duo, but a world-class tenor in his own right. This transition was fraught with legal hurdles and industry skepticism. Critics wondered if he had the stamina to carry a show alone. What they didn't realize was that Jonathan had been carrying the weight of his own world for years. Carrying a stage show was nothing in comparison. In recent months, the internet has been set ablaze with images of a new Jonathan Antoine. The dramatic physical transformation he has undergone has led to wild speculation across social media platforms. Some fans expressed concern, fearing that he had fallen victim to the extreme weight loss trends currently sweeping the celebrity world. Others wondered if a secret health crisis had forced his hand. As we investigate these claims, the truth appears to be far more grounded, yet no less dramatic. People were looking for a scandal, but what they found was a man who had finally decided to stop hiding behind his own shadow. Jonathan has addressed these rumors with his trademark honesty, revealing that his journey wasn't about fitting a pop star image, but about ensuring he didn't fade out prematurely. The physical strain of singing opera is comparable to that of a professional athlete. The lungs and diaphragm require a level of fitness that is often underestimated. For Jonathan, this transformation was a reclamation project. He wasn't just losing weight, he was shedding the protective layers he had built up during his years of being bullied. He's been seen in the gym and working with top-tier health consultants, signaling a commitment to longevity that is rare in his field. But with this new look came a new wave of accusations from purists who felt he was changing his brand too much. The controversy surrounding his appearance proves one thing: the public feels an intense ownership over him. They want him to stay the shy boy they saved in 2012, but Jonathan is busy becoming the man he was always meant to be. Why does Jonathan Antoine own the Christmas season? It's a question that music analysts have been asking for years. His holiday albums don't just sell, they become a ritual for a specific demographic of listeners who feel disconnected from the modern, commercialized version of the holidays. Our investigation into his ChristmasLand project reveals that this wasn't just a marketing ploy to sell CDs in December. It was designed as a psychological sanctuary. In a world that feels increasingly fractured, his voice has become a frequency that people use to regulate their own emotional distress. Fans describe his holiday concerts not as musical events, but as healing sessions. We've found countless testimonials from individuals who claim that Jonathan's rendition of certain carols helped them process deep-seated grief or the loss of a family member. There is something in the resonance of his voice, a specific frequency that seems to bypass the logical brain and hit the emotional core. This isn't just hyperbole, it's a documented phenomenon among his fanbase. He treats the Christmas season with a level of reverence that borders on the religious, even if the songs themselves are secular. But this healer status comes with a heavy burden. How does one man carry the emotional weight of millions of grieving or lonely people? Jonathan has admitted that the energy he puts into these performances often leaves him drained and empty for weeks afterward. He is effectively a lightning rod for the world's holiday melancholy, taking it in and transforming it into something beautiful. It's a dangerous trade-off, but one he seems willing to make every December. As we look toward the future, the question remains: what is the ultimate fate of the voice that healed a generation? Jonathan Antoine is no longer a reality TV novelty. He is a seasoned artist who has survived the meat grinder of the entertainment industry. He has faced the demons of his past, survived the accusations of the critics, and emerged as a symbol of resilience. But the story isn't over. Recent whispers in the industry suggest that he is looking to move into even more challenging territories, perhaps even venturing into the world of film scoring or massive global collaborations that would take him far beyond the Christmas tenor label. But even as he reaches for the stars, the mystery of his early near misses continues to fascinate those who follow his journey. He serves as a living testament to the idea that our accidents and our scars are what make us valuable. If he had never been bullied, if he had never faced that breakdown in 2012, would he have the emotional depth to sing the way he does now? Likely not. He is the healer because he was the broken. As the final notes of the holiday season fade out, Jonathan's story continues to resonate as a powerful reminder that the light only shines because the darkness was once there. He hasn't just built a career, he's built a fortress of hope for anyone who feels unseen. And as we conclude this report, one thing is certain. Whether he is singing in a cathedral or a stadium, Jonathan Antoine is a voice that will be remembered long after the lights are packed away. The man who was once afraid to speak has finally found something to say that the whole world needs to hear.